This is Cheyenne Valentine back today again with a new episode. Today's episode I'm going to do a story time. This is going to be fun. This story time is going to be about, I think I'm going to name the video, My Friends Hooked Me Up with These Guys and then they had intercourse with them behind my back. Or I'm going to name it, My Friends Hooked Me Up with These Guys, then had intercourse with them behind my back, something like that. So yeah, this video is gonna be interesting. It's a story time about two female friends I had in the past, and they both hooked me up, introduced me, tried to hook me up with a guy, and they both ended up sleeping with said guy behind my back. So the first incident, the first female, so I went to Job Corps back in the day, and in Job Corps, how it was literally like 7 women to one room. So I met a friend, let's say her name was Lisa, and me and Lisa got along, and neither one of us was from the city that Job Corps was in, but she had a friend named Kim, and Kim actually stayed in that city, and she stayed off campus. So she was from that city, and at Job Corps you had to be there and stay on campus 5 days a week. Classes was Monday through Friday, and on the weekend it was no classes, so you can go off campus if you like, or you could have stayed on campus. So on the weekend I wouldn't have nowhere to go because I wasn't from there. I had no family or friends there. All my friends were from who I met there at Job Corps. And so a lot of people would leave off campus on the weekend, and I'd be there. Sometimes I'd be there by myself. So she told me, well, on the weekend, my friend Lisa said on the weekend, I go off campus and I go over Kim's house, because Kim would be, Kim would commute. No, I think during the week she'll just stay on campus, but every weekend she'll go home. So Lisa said, I'm gonna start, you can start going off campus with me on the weekend and we can go over Kim's house. So I said, okay, whatever. So one day she comes into the dorm room and she said she met a guy, and they started getting along and they became boyfriend and girlfriend, and he had a cousin named John, let's say. These aren't their real name, but he had a cousin named John. And she said she said, one day she went over there to see her boyfriend, and she brought Kim with her, and Kim and John liked each other and had sex. Okay, so, but she said nothing came out of it. Nothing, they stopped talking. So, it's funny now. So she comes to me one day, and after blowing, said, I want to hook you up with John. Now follow me. Her friend has already slept with John, and she knows that when she takes me off campus, I'm gonna be hanging out around Kim, who has slept with John. But you want me to talk to John? Okay, sounds kind of messy to me. So she said, you should talk to John. So she said, I'm gonna introduce you guys. You're gonna like him. He's handsome. I mean, she just kept talking about how she's gonna introduce me to him and how I should get with him. Kept saying it to me. I think she had already even told him about me or whatever. I think, I'm not quite sure though. So then, she said, so I'm gonna take you off campus. So, time was going past, and she hadn't, like, she'll leave. So basically, when the weekend would come, she'd pack her stuff and leave, but she wouldn't ask me to come with her so I could meet him or nothing. So I thought that was kind of strange. So then one day she comes to me and said, girl, you should try taking ecstasy pills. I never done drugs before, never done X or nothing. So my silly stuff was like, I should consider it. She said, John sells X pills. He sells ecstasy pills, and I take some now and then. She said, all you need is $20. So she said, next time I go off campus, I'm gonna take you with me, and if you got a 20, we could get you an X pill so you could try it. So I said, okay, fine. My dumb butt actually was gonna consider it. But then she came to me about like the next week, or like 2 weeks later. Once again, even after she told me I should take X pills with her and she's gonna take me off campus with her, she still didn't take me off campus with her. Like, she literally will leave and not say nothing. Like, she'll just pack her stuff, leave, and then she'll be gone for the weekend, and then she'll just come back like nothing happened. So then one day she comes to me and she says, you know what, I don't think you should take X pills. She said, I think if you take it, it might mess up your head and make you go crazy, and I just don't think you should do it. So I said, okay, and she never mentioned it to me again. I said, okay, fine. I shouldn't do it. Whatever. I mean, I got my own mind. I considered it, because I remember she said she'll take a half a pill, and I don't know. I considered it because she brought it to my attention, and she, but I'm glad I didn't do that shit. So anyway, she mentioned nothing about X pills to me ever again after that. She just came to me out of nowhere and said, yeah, you shouldn't do it. Like somebody, she had an epiphany. So then once again, more time goes past and she still hasn't taken me off campus with her to meet John. Then she comes to me one day and say, yeah, girl, I got high, off X, and I had sex with John. Mind you, everybody, okay, John is her boyfriend's cousin. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to cheat, period. But if you was, why would you be so trifling as to do it with your boyfriend's cousin? And mind you, the boyfriend and the cousin would be around each other. That's how she met the cousin, because they all would be over to her boyfriend's house. It was like a family house. Everybody be over there. Oh my God. So I said, oh, so how'd that happen? I'm just stunned, like, because she had got me all hyped up about meeting this dude and, talking about she gonna hook me up with him. Now you didn't slut with him? Is that why you was procrastinating having me go off campus with you? Because you started liking him? Is that what it was? So she said one day, because he sold the X pill, she said she took X pill with him and she became really horny and she just had to have it, and they did it. And so this is the real trifling part. Remember I told you earlier in this story that Kim, her friend, slept with John, right? Well, my friend Lisa, my friend at the time, like I said, on the weekend she would go over to Kim's house. So Lisa actually had sex with John in Kim's garage. Kim stayed there with her parents or whatever, and they liked her, and then the parents ended up meeting me and they liked me too. But the thing was, she know that John had slept with Kim, but she sleeps with John, and then actually has I think one day Kim had left out, and her and the dude John, Lisa and John, went to Kim's house and had intercourse in Kim's garage. I'm not making this up. I just can't make up something like this. So she told me that, she said, X pills make you really, really horny. And maybe that's why she didn't want me to take it around him, because if she was hooking me up with him, she knew we might eventually have intercourse possibly. So I don't get it. So I said, okay. So after she told me this, literally maybe 2 weeks later, then she has me go off campus with her. So after she told me she didn't sleep with this dude, now she wants me to meet him. I'm not making this up. So I finally go off campus with her and I meet him. He's nice looking. The moment he seen me, he tried to get with me. Like literally me, her, and him was at McDonald's talking one day, and he mentioned, he's like, yeah, I use Magnum condoms. So back in the day, magnums signify that you had a big penis. I don't know if it's still like that now. So he said I get, when he said I use Magnum condoms, he looked dead at me to see my reaction. I didn't have no reaction, but that was his way of saying I got a big penis. And then one day, the three of us was walking back to, I think, we was walking back to his house or somebody's house, and Lisa was in front of me. We were like walking like in a line almost. So Lisa was in front, I was in the middle, he was behind me, and she couldn't see what we were doing behind her. So what he did was he grabbed my arm and he was like, man, I want to get with you. And so see, he probably thought that, both of your friends slept with me, why can't you do it? You must be, free with your body like they are. No, I'm not like them. I'm different. So I will say, yes, she was trifling for sleeping with him, but she was only, in my opinion, 50% trifling, just because she said she's going to introduce me to him, but me and him had not yet got introduced. So she was, in my opinion, you guys might disagree or agree, but I think she was 50% trifling, just because me and him had not talked to each other nor saw each other before they had intercourse. But I knew about him because she told me she's going to hook me up with him, and she kept saying, I'm going to take you off campus next week so you can see him, and she never did. She just kept procrastinating, and then it's like she procrastinated long enough so she could sleep with him. Let me tell you something, everybody. I never told her to hook me up with this dude. Okay, I never told her to hook me up with him. I didn't need help getting hooked up with him. Like I said, she met her boyfriend. Her boyfriend wasn't obviously from Job Corps. He was just one of the local dudes around there, and she met him walking down the street, and she met that guy, and then she just by default met the dude John, his cousin. I never told hook me up with anybody. I didn't even know her boyfriend. I had never met her boyfriend at that time. I didn't know nothing about him or his family. So she took it upon herself to say, I want you to meet this dude John, and you're gonna like him. So this was on her. So then to tell me you want me to meet him and then keep procrastinating and you sleep with him, then you want me to meet him after you sleep with him, because she knew once she told me she slept with him, I'm not gonna try to sleep with him. I don't want your sloppy seconds. So it was crazy. And so and then it was weird one day, everyone. We was over her boyfriend's house and she was sitting on his lap. And I was over there and John was there sitting next to me because he once he saw, he was trying to get with me. And it was just so awkward. Like my ex-friend, she was as cool as a cucumber, everyone. Like, you would never have known that she was sleeping with this dude behind her boyfriend's back. Literally, she's on one couch. Her boyfriend sitting on the couch. She's sitting on top of him. I'm across from them, sitting on the couch. And the dude, John, which is her boyfriend's cousin, sitting next to me. And John and her was acting like they had never touched each other. You would have never known they had sex. Listen to me, everybody. You would have never known they was rolling around in the bed. Because she said they did it in Kim's garage, and he had all bent over, and she had to have it, and she somehow X make you super horny, and they did it somewhere else, and they was getting it in. You understand? And that was her boyfriend's cousin. Now, I'm not saying her boyfriend never cheated on her. I don't know. But even if he did, he didn't do it with none of her cousins. She was trifling for what she did. She was trifling. She was mainly more trifling in this scenario to her boyfriend. She was wrong for what she did. If he cheated, okay, cheat back, but don't cheat with his cousin. I don't know if he had cheated on her or not, but let's just say he did. Do it. Why would you do it with a cousin? Somebody that's right under his nose like that. And then as far as with me, she's 50% trifling with me because she's the one volunteered to hook me up with this dude I'd never seen or heard about. And then you're gonna procrastinate having me meet him, and then you're gonna turn around and sleep with him, and then after you sleep with him, then you make efforts so I can meet him. Like, it was just weird. So then another part of the story, and then I'm gonna get to the next person. I don't know if you all noticed, but John had just had a baby. Oh yeah, everybody. Me and Lisa went over to John's house one day, and what do I see? A cute little girl. Her name was Angel. Her name was Angel or Dream. And what's the little babies being the swing? She was sitting in the swing. Oh, she was so cute. And he was holding her and playing with her. I'm wondering what the hell's going on, and come to find out, that was his baby. So not only is he having intercourse with his cousin's girlfriend, but then he had sex with his cousin's girlfriend, her friend, and then he was currently trying to sleep with me, which I never gave my number. When I would see him, I just chit chat with him, but I never let nothing happen. I just blow him off. And when we went over to his house, that's when I found that he had a baby. This little girl this was a newborn baby. She couldn't have been more than 6 months. So I'm like, this dude is, what a fucking loser. And then that's not the end of it. So I know you asking, well, who was the mother of this newborn baby? So my so-called friend Lisa, who is dating his cousin, kept taking X pills from him and kept fucking him. They became regular fuck friends. And I think her and her boyfriend kind of broke up for a while, and she was still fucking this dude. Okay? She started going over his house a lot. And one day my friend was, ex-friend was over, Lisa was over his house, John's house, and his baby's mother comes over there and sees that she's there and runs. I think she came in the house and then she came and he let her in the house. The baby mother came over there while Lisa was there. Lisa, knocked on, I don't know, she came in and I think she knocked on his bedroom door. Something happened. She saw Lisa there, and she ran out the room crying. I feel so bad for that young lady. She ran out the room crying, and John's mother was there, because mind you, we were all young at this time, 19, 20. We were young, so he was still staying with his mother, and his mother, of course, knew what was going on, as far as he just had a baby with this young lady, whatever. So Lisa told me that the mother came in the room and said, Lisa, let me talk to you. She said, what is going on with you and John? Are you guys in a relationship? What's going on? Because this is his daughter's mother, and she's crying. What's going on? And Lisa was like, oh, nothing's going on between us. And she said, we're just friends, which was a fucking lie. And so John basically intervened and said, and introduced Lisa to his baby mother, and Lisa told her, look, there's nothing between me and him. We're just friends. My name is Lisa. Nice to meet you. We're just platonic friends. Nothing's going on between us. And then she said the girl just kind of like had her head down and just kind of looked up at her, but looked real sad. So Lisa blatantly lied in this woman's face. See, Lisa was the type of female, that's not her real name though, by the way. And if she listens to this, she knows who she is. She was the type of female, she had a extreme poker face, and she's the type of woman that would sleep with your man and you would not know, and she would come to you like, I'm not sleeping with him, and know that he's with you and not even try to really break y'all up. Like, she that kind of female. She's a very dangerous female, but she's probably not as dangerous. She might be equally as dangerous as this next person. So that was the first person. Like I said, Lisa was, let's say, 50% at fault and wrong for what she did to me. She was 100% wrong for what she did to her boyfriend, fucking his cousin. And with me, it was the fact that she knew she was trying to hook me up with this dude, and then but like I said, only 50% in my opinion, because I had never actually met him at that point and we hadn't talked yet. So whatever. So next person. This story time is fun, right? The next person, let's call this girl Pat. So Pat was very fun, outgoing. Lisa was more laid back and quiet. You would never know she was fucking your man. Pat, she's a little bit harder for her to cover stuff up. So Pat, me and her met in Job Corps. I was in a room with her. We became cool. And she was dating a married man. Yeah, she was dating a married man. She was dating a married guy. So she's always called him her boyfriend, and she'd say, that's my boyfriend, that's my boyfriend. And I used to joke and say, that's my boyfriend. I was mimic her, make fun of her, but that wasn't her boyfriend. A married man is not your fucking boyfriend. But I would just joke around, but in the grand scheme of things, he wasn't her boyfriend. That was somebody's husband. So anyway, she had been sleeping with him, doing everything under the sun sexually with him, all kind of stuff. I'm not finna get graphic. So she tells one day, she said, I want to hook you up with his friend. Let's say the friend was named Tim. She said, I want to hook you up with Tim. And I said, oh, okay. I said, what does he look like? She said, Tim isn't the cutest. She said, but he's not bad looking. Just give him a shot. He's not bad looking. So unlike Lisa, Pat actually went the extra mile for me to meet this dude in the beginning. She actually called him, put me on the phone with him. I talked to him on the phone. We had a great conversation. He seemed very mature. The married man she's messing around with and Tim, they were older than us. Now I think about it, they had to be probably late 20s at the time, maybe early 30s. But yeah, I think they was in their 20s. But yeah, they were definitely older than us. So let's take this a step further. They came up to Job Corps to see us. So the married dude and his friend Tim, the married man came for her, Pat, and then Tim went to come, see me for the first time. And so how Job Corps was, you really couldn't have visitors, so you had to meet them at the front gate. So we met them at the front gate. The married dude, I didn't like his personality. Something about him was just off-putting, but obviously something's off-putting. He's cheating on his wife. And so Tim, actually when I met him, no, he wasn't ugly, but he wasn't like handsome either. He was like average looking, but he seemed really laid back, cool. His body looked decent. I got a good vibe from him, actually, to be honest with you. I got a real good vibe from him. I said, oh, okay, he seems cool or whatever. So I said, I might give him a shot. I'll work with him. He ain't, he don't do it for me. Like I don't look at him as being irresistible, but I can grow to, let me give him a shot. Because he came off with his energy seemed pretty good. So she said, okay, cool. So me and him started talking on the phone. We weren't talking every day, but we was making progress. I think we were leading up to going on a date. And then just out of just slowly, it just faded out of nowhere. I don't know what was the point. It just what's the point? I don't know at what point it faded, but it didn't go nowhere. We saw each other, we talked, we kept talking on the phone, and it just didn't going anywhere. Oh, and I just want to backtrack. When she called him, we had Job Corps, we had a room phone. I don't think nobody had a cell phone at that time. And so it was crazy because when you talk on the phone, you have to sit at this desk and everybody can hear what you're saying, and I barely could get on the phone because I was sharing a room with 7 other women. But anyway, so then one day she comes in the room, we were alone, and she said, let me talk to you about something. I said, what's going on? She said, have you ever wondered why? She said, did you ever wonder why I stopped trying to get you and Tim together? Now, I hadn't wondered that because I just figured she did her part. She introduced us. We talked on the phone. It didn't go no damn where. I didn't figure she had to keep trying to make it work for what? So she I said, well, yeah. I just lied. I said, well, yeah, I did wonder why did you, because she, at one point, she just didn't mention him to me no more. She didn't, she wouldn't say, well, how, because she's the one who introduced us, and she was kind of the aggressive type female, so she was initiating the whole thing. So, when I think about it, at one point, she stopped asking me, had I talked to him, or she didn't mention him no more, but I didn't think none of it. So she said, well, the reason why I stopped, and then she was smiling when she asked me this. She seemed so excited, like it's something she really wanted to tell me. And I said, well, yeah, why did you stop, trying to get me and him together? And she said, because I had sex with him. And I said, oh, now mind you, unlike the first female, Lisa, this individual slept with him after she introduced me to him, and after she saw me and him talking and moving towards something. I can't make this up. So I said, wow. I said, so how did that happen? I'm just stunned now. I didn't really have strong feelings for him. They were getting, I hadn't built no bond with him, but I still was like, what the fuck? It just totally blind. I was just stunned. I didn't know what to say. So I said, so how did that happen? And so she said, she seemed excited. She was smiling and giddy. And she said, well, what happened was Tim invited me over his friend's house, to have sex with him. So Tim wanted to have sex with her. So, he couldn't have sex with her at his wife's house. So he had to invite her over his friend's house. So she goes over there. Now, it's 4 men there. It's Tim and 3 other guys. No, I'm so sorry. Let me backtrack. Tim did not invite her over there. I'm so sorry. The married man, let me backtrack. I'm getting ahead of myself. The married man who she was fucking and dating, talking to, whatever, wanted to have sex with her. So he said, come over to my friend's house. When she got there, the married man was there and 3 other guys. One of the guys was Tim, the one I had, been introduced to, talking on the phone. He was there too. So there's 4 men there, and there's only 1 female, her. Now you follow me? So she's there. Pat is there, and so I guess her and the married dude go in the room and have sex or whatever. After they're done, he says to her, he turns to her and say, Pat, he said, you know what would be so cool? She said, what? He said, if you slept with my friends. So while they were in there having sex, the 3 friends, and one of the friends was Tim, was sitting in the living room. And she said, that would be cool. So he leaves out and tells them that she's down. And then she says, she comes out the room and says, who wants to go first? True story. One of them get up and go in the room. Now, I can't give you guys details as far as what she did with the other men, because I just want to know what she did with Tim. I didn't really care about the other dudes. I want to know the sexual acts that went on with her and Tim. That's all the hell I want to know. So them other dudes she was telling me about, I didn't give a fuck. So once Tim's turn came up, he comes in the room, she says, and he can't get hard. She said he pulls out his penis. I mean, she had told me the size of him. I mean, I'm not going to get to that because I can't even remember. She went into graphic details. He pulls out his penis. He couldn't get it hard. And I didn't tell you all, but Pat wasn't that attractive. She was tall and big. She had a little weight on her. And at that time, she didn't really wear makeup, or she didn't really style her hair like that. And then she had a little weight on her. And she didn't have the cutest face. She's not ugly in her face, but she didn't have the she's not that attractive. Okay, I don't know, I don't like saying that about people, but it is what it is. So he literally couldn't get it hard. He was not turned on by her at all, and he couldn't get it hard. And I think she sucked him off, but he still couldn't really get as hard as he could have. No, I think what happened, he couldn't get it hard. She sucked him off, then they had sex, something like that. I just remember what stood out is that he couldn't get hard right away. And I know the first thing I thought was, shit, he not attracted to you, that's why. But that part stood out. So they had a sexual encounter. It started off pretty shitty because he couldn't even get hard because he wasn't turned on by her, because she know how she looked or whatever. So after she told me this, I'm sitting there like, okay. Now, still was friends with her after that. And people might say, well, why would you still be friends with somebody who do something like that? Because at the time, I guess for me, she would have all these interesting sexual stories, and I like hearing stories, so she'll tell me about the different sexual stuff she'll be doing, and I would sit there and listen to it because it's interesting to me. So I didn't, I just didn't care at that time. I was just like, this is fucked up, but I was young and I didn't understand that this was a pattern with her. So not only did she do that fucked up shit to me, okay, now you might say, well, you hadn't had sex with him yet and y'all were in a relationship. Okay, fine. Well, one of our friends was in a relationship and she slept with that girl's boyfriend. So we had another friend. So Pat is the one this story is about. So Pat's the sexually liberated one who, slept with the dude she hooked me up with. Okay, so that's Pat, the one I'm talking about. So we had another friend. Let's say this friend's named Jessica. So Jessica was having sex with and dating a dude named Booney. And an incident went down in Chicago in Chicago is where that's not where the Job Corps was at, but a lot of people was from Chicago at their Job Corps. So when we left Job Corps, she still had friends that went there. And so one of them came back to Chicago, and Pat ended up staying with them for maybe like a week, or she would always come visit them and stuff like that. So some kind of way, Pat was a type of female always getting into shit. She's super sexual, and then also she had a temper, and she's always getting into shit. So they had ganged up on, about 5 people had ganged up on her. She telling me the story. I'm wondering how does 5 people gang up on you? Why does all these people got a problem with you? So she says she gets into it with these 5 people, and Jessica happens to be there. And one of the 5 people say, and Pat, and you fucked Booney. And Booney used to have sex when it was dating Jessica, and Jessica, when she heard that, slapped the shit out of Pat in front of everybody. So that was a struggle, that was a fight. So I don't even think Pat hit her back. So Pat told me all of this. So I ended up talking to Jessica, and Jessica said, I don't talk to Pat, and she fucked Booney, and I don't have nothing to say to her. Okay, but Pat claims she didn't do it. Well, why would they say you did do it? But why would they say you did do? You got a pattern here of certain things. Another thing that she did. There was another friend from Job Corps. Let's say this friend was named Jennifer. Pat stayed with Jennifer. Now Jennifer also lived there with her baby daddy, her boyfriend at the time. And the baby daddy did not want Pat there for whatever reason, and the baby daddy told Jennifer that Pat tried to come on to him sexually. On top of that, since Pat didn't have no family or friends in that particular city, the baby daddy of the boyfriend of Jennifer's boyfriend and her went to the boyfriend's family's home for Thanksgiving. They, being nice, brought Pat with them. What does Pat do? Pat gets drunk, piss drunk, and ends up throwing up to the point where Jennifer and her boyfriend had to clean it up, which was disgusting. And I think she ended up having sex with one of his cousins that night during Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm just throwing this out here because I just want you to understand, you need to be mindful who you have as friends. You need to be careful. I could laugh about these stories now because it's a fucking joke. Some women are just a joke, but you gotta understand, most women, let me take that back, it's not most women, but you just need to be mindful, ladies, of who you befriend. And maybe you have done something like this before. It is what it is. I'm just saying, I have never did that to nobody, and I'm not going to do that to nobody. I don't have it in me to behave like that. I'm not shysty. I'm not devious. And both of those women, like I said, they're both dangerous, because with Pat, she's more wilder. She lets it all hang out. I remember in Job Corps, she was standing in the window. We were in our room, and it was her and 2 other girls at the window in the room, and excuse me, it was some guys sitting on a bench outside. They lift up the window, and then she flashed them. She took her breast out of her bra and shook her breasts around. Like she was, she would get into different stuff. So I don't know why I expected more from her. I don't know why I expected anything from her. And the other friend, ex-friend, she was more sneaky. They both, she was more, she's the type of female, Lisa, where she would help your man. Like, she would cover up for the dude. So if she's sleeping with your man and you confront her, she'd say, I'm not doing nothing. We just friends. And she would not try to interfere with y'all being together, but she would keep sucking them off though. I don't know what to tell you. These are the kind of women I have encountered. I don't know why these individuals like being friends with me, because I don't act nothing like that. But I've had some pretty shysty people call themselves my friends, and it's just crazy. So yeah, I just wanted to give you all this story time. It's funny to me now. So it's real funny to me now. So I just want you ladies to know that some women only have loyalty to themselves. Just remember that.